What is going on out there, peeps? All right, let's talk about the Iraqi dinar because, as usual, there's all kinds of stuff happening over in Iraq. Good, bad, and ugly. We're going to talk about them all. All right, so before we get into that again, as usual, a quick reminder everybody, if you think about buying precious metals, and you should give a consideration to our friends over that Money Metal Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. Again, I want to encourage people to go out and subscribe to our friends' YouTube channel and check out their Reddit page, Wall Street Silver. Props out to them for helping bring large awareness to the silver movement. You guys know that down in the comments, there's a lot of fake people and trying to impersonate me. How you can tell the difference between the real me and the fake me is when I post something, there's a gray bar or gray circle around my name like this. See this? The fake ones don't have it. And I won't be telling you to go to WhatsApp, and I won't be telling you to go to Telegram, Graph, or anything like that. All right, so there's some interesting things happening in Iraq that I hate to do the "oh, I told you so," but again, these are things that I brought to our attention long before they got here and told you that these things might be happening, okay? So here we go. Let's get into this. So what's going on? We're starting to see that the value of the dinar is losing against the U.S. dollar. Well, why, Pimpy? Why? Because how are outside investors going to come into Iraq and invest when there's so much, again, instability? They need security. I would not want to go somewhere and invest money into a country when there's too much civil unrest, whether there's protests going on. Now we're starting to see all these militia groups feel real emboldened since Biden got into office. I know you guys go, nah, Peppy, don't make it political, but it is. It has everything to do with what we're investing in. You can't sit back and talk about a stock and then not want to talk about what makes a stock go up or down in value because you don't like what you're hearing. It doesn't work that way. There's no doubt. I mean, Biden sent $1.5 billion to Hamas. Let me repeat that, $1.5 billion to Hamas. Did any of the American people say that was okay? Why are these people, these politicians, feeling it's okay to send taxpayer money wherever the hell they feel like it? No, it doesn't work that way. Anyways, Hamas got it, and guess what they did? They sent some over to Iraq or Iran, and guess what now? Thank you, Biden. The United States is now going to be the largest importer of oil is coming from Iran. Didn't I tell you once Biden got into office, they would start doing the same thing they were doing before? And that is empowering Iran. They want Iran to control and run all of the Middle East. I wasn't lying. Now these militia members are feeling, again, real bolden. You're starting to see ISIS act up, Al-Qaeda act up. Is anybody surprised? We have a weak leader. He can't even climb stairs without falling down. Come on, he can't even pronounce two complete sentences together. Nonetheless, the value of the dinar is falling compared to the U.S. dollar just because, again, people are not feeling very secure about what's going on in the Middle East. And that plays a part of it, okay? The final withdrawal of the U.S. forces from Afghanistan by next September, which I'm surprised. Prior to the Afghan war, the United States only produced less than 0.5% of the world's opium products, such as heroin. During the Afghan war, we moved on up and became 99.8% of the producers and manufacturers of heroin. So why are we giving up that honeypot? So we're pulling out in September. Good. Get them out of there. There's no reason to be there outside of guarding the poppy fields. By a judicial decision, the release of the leader of the crowd, Kwanzaa. Now, see, here's the thing. Remember I told you about these guys. This is the leader of the popular mobilization group, okay? They are a militia group that's out there. Now, I remember when Al-Qademi first got into power, he said, look, I have to have control of all these armies. You can't have all these separate leaders. This isn't healthy. And I told you one of the ones that might be a pain in his ass were going to be the popular mobilization group. The reason for that, you got 1/3 of the popular mobilization group that is loyal and dedicated to the supreme leader of Iran. 1/3 that's loyal and dedicated to the Ayatollah of Iraq. And another third loyal and dedicated to Sadr. They take their orders from Turkey. So what happened? They wanted this guy released. He was arrested, accused of being part of this bombing that took place. Now we're hearing all of a sudden magically that it was somebody from the Minister of Interior who is colluding with ISIS, and they did the bombing, is what the latest word is. But nonetheless, this is, I'm sure, what scared the crap out of everybody. So anyway, he said the judiciary released the commander for lack of evidence. He will be officially received by the leaders of the crowd shortly. Is that really what happened? Or how about this? Iraq Special Forces arrested the leader and charged him with terrorism, which almost sparked a bloody conflict in the heart of the Green Zone. There we go, something interfering with the Green Zone. As factions of the popular mobilization spread inside the Green Zone, and what did they do? They surrounded several vital sites, including the residence of Al-Qademi. All of a sudden, these militia groups feeling real bold. This is why Al-Qademi is not running for office. Without the support of Trump there, helping keep things stable in the Middle East, keeping Iran at bay. Now you got Biden in there. He's letting them run willy-nilly. Under Trump, it wasn't a good job to be the leader of a terrorist group. People don't talk about it, but he wiped out 9 leaders of terrorist groups. We know about Kwanzaa Soleimani. We know about al-Baghdadi. But do you know about the other 7, including bin Laden's son? The only way you're going to know about him is I spoke about him in my video. So 9. Good Lord, man, they took out 1 under Obama, and they praised it. It was all over the news. It was great. When Trump does it, oh, that's terrible. It's going to cause a civil war. Good Lord. We are way safer under Trump. Now look at it. There's really starting to see the destabilization of the Middle East. Slightly. I'm not sold on it 100%. What I mean by that is it's not quite there yet. But the fact that you got ISIS running around now, Al-Qaeda, you know, these guys all but disappeared under Trump. This, popular mobilization group, although they did team up to fight ISIS. But now you got all these different factions, all these different armed groups running around, causing problems. It's funny how these terrorist groups always magically become more powerful under the Democratic control. Yeah, pay attention. You guys ever notice that? I just watched a video where a guy from Syria was saying, the guy said, if you could say anything to the Americans, anything to the politicians, what would you say? He said, yeah, stop arming the terrorist groups. It's a shame. So we don't want all these kind of issues popping up. All is not lost. Iraq continues to move forward. But I do think whatever happens in this election is going to tell us everything we need to know about the direction this country is going in. The fact that now the United States is going to start importing oil from Iran. Why the hell are we doing that? Did you know that? Remember when I said, hey, invest in the Iranian rial? The sanctions ain't moved 100%, but make no doubt about it, they're not doing a whole lot. They're starting to unfreeze assets that were frozen, starting to import oil from Iran. This is just going to make their economy much more stronger. We'll keep an eye on there, and the more money they get, guess what they do? They become the #1 financiers of terrorists around the Middle East. Kurdistan announces the formation of a joint committee with Baghdad to audit the accounts in the region. Really, what they're auditing is the oil accounts. We're going to figure out who is telling the truth, because there is a kind of a issue on the table that they're not being honest about how much revenue is coming in through the oil. Therefore, Kurdistan is not going to be getting their fair share. The audit should be able to handle that. We will see. Finance holds a new meeting to discuss the budget for the next 3 years. Now, they did tell you that, 3 to 5 years, they're going to keep the same rate on the dinar. So is that what they're doing now? Is they're going ahead and calculating out the budgets right now for that? We already worked past the deficit. It's because oil prices went up. We already told there's no more deficit. Now we're in a surplus. What are they doing with the surplus? Well, they should be investing it into private sectors. More projects. Are they? Yes, they are. We saw that happening. So do I think the rate's going to stay where it's at? Hell no, it's not. Not for no damn 3 years. Is it possible? Of course it is, but I don't see it. So anyways, they need to start investing in, look at this, the interest in the educational sector, which is really important because there are generations of people that are uneducated. How it's hard to, speak against something like that when we have a whole generation of college graduates that are uneducated. Their mind has been switched to mush. They actually believe socialism is the way this country should go in. God forbid, man. Well, not forbid, it's already happened. They infiltrated our colleges, and we got a group of stupid people. Finance, dispersing the dues of the farmers who market wheat and rye crops. Yes, they do. So finally, the farmers are getting paid. I don't know how they've been functioning all these years. The money is going out there. Still, the delegations going back and forth. So this is what's happening because of the lack of stability there. And we're starting to see now, again, groups that we don't want to cause trouble starting to really make a lot of noise. Nothing really big's happening, although I shouldn't say that. We're seeing bombings and missile attacks in the whole 9 yards. So, of course, the U.S. dollar is going to gain against the dinar. The value of the dinar is going to go down. People don't trust what's going on there. That's not good for us. I'm really not a happy camper that Al-Qademi is not running this next election, but I think he sees the writing on the wall. And that is, without the support of Trump, and you got the Democrats in there with Biden, hard times are coming up. We'll see. Now, again, that's just my opinion. Oil continues to achieve gains, and Brentwood exceeds the threshold of $72 a barrel. I did say the oil would reach, when it was in the 40s, $80 by summertime. Well, I was off. That's $72. I said it'd also be about $100 a gallon by the end of the year. The more it goes up. Now, if they budget for $45 a barrel, and you're up almost, dang near $30 above that, that means you got a lot of extra money you weren't counting on in your budget. Iraq needs to continue to work on those private sectors, start growing them, start building them, start getting people to work, people off assistance, start rebuilding your economy, make it stronger. Believe it or not, tourism is, for some reason, tourism over there is starting to increase. I'm happy about that, but of course, I'm an American, so I'm going, I don't know what you're talking about. I wouldn't go there. Not right now, although Iraq is a place I do want to visit. It's on my bucket list, you know what I mean? So the tourism starting to increase. I believe it's 7.3% increase, so good for them. Again, the dollar up against the Iraqi dinar is for a reason. The central bank sells the dollars at the official price for service categories. Okay, so if you're going to be studying, what did they say the categories were? Travel, study, and treatment abroad by selling it at the official price. So people are buying, dollars for the most part, U.S. dollars, and using their Iraqi dinars, but they're allowing this to happen because remember, they're trying to do away with the dual currency system there. Some circumstances they allow American dollars, but if you're trying to grow and strengthen your own currency, you got to do away with anything that will compete with it, such as the American dollar. So they are selling to these people as long as you could probably prove whether you're traveling, you're studying, or treatment abroad, then you could get the foreign currencies, most likely American dollars. So here you go. The Ministry of Interior explodes a large caliber surprise. The suspect in the bombing is a security element colluding with ISIS. Here we go again. Same old crap again. So, can anybody explain to me that how it is that the Abraham Accord was bringing peace to the Middle East, and it took less than 100 days for the Democrats to totally destroy that? Like I said, anyways, they found a guy that was part of the bomb, and he was working for the Interior, and we found that he is colluding with ISIS. There goes that name again, magically popping up. It's funny how these things always pop up. Just like mass shootings, all of a sudden the numbers increase when a specific political party is in office. That's funny how that works, especially since they want gun confiscation. The value of the Iraqi dinar continues to decline. Government steps in to save it. What do they do by saving it? Flood the market with dollars, so they lose their value. The government official said to the news the rise of the dollar is a result of the market speculation and rumors of new price hike. And this type made the citizens in the state of confusion because of hoarding the dollar in their homes, in addition to the transfers of money from the dinar to the dollar by many. Told you, they're losing confidence in the dinar. They're wanting the American dollar. This isn't good. You want them to have confidence in their own currency. The central bank will follow a plan in the coming days to suspend the license of money exchange shops that manipulate the price, in addition to forming price control committees, which they should. The government's policy is clear, which is to maintain the price of the dollar. And what is happening is not a dollar shortage crisis, but rather speculation on the market only. For those of you who wonder who speculators are, people like us are speculators. There is something else I wanted to show you. The world's possession of gold has increased. Yes, it has. Remember, we keep saying there's a shortage on metals? Well, why is that? The Iraq has not increased its reserves since September 2020. So on Sunday, the World Council announced a rise in the world gold reserves. Well, why is that? Something big's about to happen. So who is increasing their holdings? Well, central banks are. Could it be because of Basel III? We'll see. The increase in gold reserves came from 5 central banks as Thailand made the largest purchase of gold during the month, adding 43.5 tons. Turkey, 13.4. Uzbekistan, 8.4. Kazakhstan, 4.6. I believe it's pronounced Kyrgyzstan. Forget it, 3.8 tons. The only seller are Russia and Germany, where the Russian gold reserves decreased by 3.1 tons, and the sale of it was related to the mint, and the German gold reserves declined by 1.3 tons, which is also related to the mints. According to this article, the United States is still the largest holder of gold. For some reason, I don't believe that. We have Senator Moody, I believe, is putting the bill forward to audit our gold holdings. Do we really have that much? I hope so. Because now we're hearing that China lied. They actually hold about 20,000 tons is what they're claiming. So are they the world's largest holders along with Russia? where is the article that I wanted to talk about? And here it comes. So I spoke about this before, okay? That when Al-Kadhimi got in office, he said, where the hell is the money? And he's wanting to start doing investigations. And the political bloc said, you cannot investigate Maliki. He's an Iranian-backed puppet. They don't want them finding out all the laws this guy did, how he stole the money from the people. But I also told you what else was going on. That there's a group of people claiming to know where the money is, a big portion of it. And they can recover it. I spoke about this in videos before. Had anybody else talk about that? No. Now check this out. Corruption precedes recovery law. Will it preserve and restore Iraq's money? Told you there was no money. So once they're able to recover the money and you can account for most of it, well, then you can get an idea what an exchange rate increase will do. Depends on where the money is. You don't want it to be in the wrong hands. So if it's all in central banks and stuff, now the hands of speculators, you're going to do an exchange rate, a pretty decent one. Because you can account for where your money is. So if only a small portion is in the hand of speculators like us, you can make the rate change happen because you can afford to do it. Meanwhile, you have some kind of arrangements with other countries. The president of the Republic, Souley, presented a bill to recover corruption revenues and met with parliamentary committees to discuss it in a preparation for a vote on the House of Representatives. But the debate continues as to what the law is it able to recover Iraq's looted money, estimated to be in the hundreds of billions of dollars. Of this issue, the spokesperson in Iraq's national projects says, I do not think that this law will preserve Iraq's money or contribute to the recovery because the idea and timing of the law came for political purposes, despite our wishes that our opinions would be incorrect. Well, no, I actually think they know where a big bulk of this money is. Now, what I think their negotiations is how much is it going to cost Iraq to recover this money? That's what the holdup is. We express our wishes that this law will be approved in the parliament, but it is unlikely that the political blocs in the parliament will vote on the law, especially since they have economic offices and do not want to be recognized or did not want to recognize their great corruption. And all these blocs are accused of corruption. I told you, Al-Kadhimi was cleaning house. So as you start going around collecting the money and you know where it is, well, anybody tied to that money is going to be part of this corruption. They looted this entire country's money. So let me ask you these questions. You could draw your own conclusion. Let's say you're Iraq and all your money is gone. It's in the hand of some really corrupt people. What would you do to your currency? How can you give it a new exchange rate if you can't account for where your money is? It could be in the hands of ISIS, Al-Qaeda. It could be in the hands of some real corrupt people. But if you can't recover your money, what is the other option? Which is really super expensive. So either way, it's going to be interesting to see. Well, then you just discontinue this currency and create a new currency. And yeah, I know you guys don't want to hear that. I'm just saying you should at least think of that as an option. If you are Iraq and your money is gone and you can't recover it, what are your other options? See what I'm saying? I'm not saying they're going to do that. I'm just saying that is something that should be at least on your mind. So do we want this law to pass? Yeah, if it's actually going to work. Do they know where a bulk of their money is? Can they recover a bulk of their money? We know there's some pretty large portions of their money sitting in central banks everywhere. So how much money are we talking about that they can't account for? It's very interesting. So let's see where this law takes us. The presidency of the Republic has formed a committee to prepare the corruption revenue recovery law. I spoke about this. I told you the money was gone. I told you it could be recovered and that there was a group of people working on that, and now you see it in the news. So, very, very interesting. So the people that are against these laws are those people who are the corrupt people. They don't want to be, exposed for their corruption. Or else, why would you oppose a law to helping your country recover its revenues, its currency? I don't get that. It's almost like, let's say you have an election and something looks fishy about that election, but the other party that won is sitting there saying, hey, this is done fair and square. There was nothing nefarious happening, but then oppose any audits. Why would you oppose audits? I don't understand that. So it's something similar to that. So keep an eye on this. This is big news. Let's hope it passes. Because then I'm hoping to hear from somebody that this is directly tied into them. I'm curious to see where this goes. So anyways, you guys, look, that's what's going on. We don't want to see this, the destabilization of the countries. We don't want to see that happen. We want them to be stable. Okay? There has been a lot of talk about the Iraqi Dinar. I know there has. Their rate change as well. This isn't hard to figure out. They need a committee to figure out why the rate of the dollar is rising against the dinar. That's a big part of it right there. You don't have a stable country. Nobody's going to have faith in your dollar. This is awesome. We like this. So let's just keep our fingers crossed that things settle down. This election coming up in October is going to be big. No, this isn't me kicking a damn can. I'm not one of these people because I never set a date and I never set a rate. I'm saying there are other factors outside of an RV or an RI that play a part in the rise of the value of the dinar. Seems to me, out of all the people out there talking about it, there's only one person who's been on par with everything. No, I'm not talking about the back screens or the military intel or all the other crap. Okay, you just look at what's going on in the country. Take a better educated guess than all the other crap that's going on out there, you guys. Just be careful with that. All right, so that's it for now. You guys let me know what you think. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. That's for sure. That's it for now. I'm out.